Soy como vos, oro y negro es mi sangre, mi religión, la pasión interminable.
Damas y caballeros de este universo en dos colores, amarillo y negro, bienvenidos a un nuevo programa de Peñarol Sin Filtro, súper especial, Peñarol Sin Filtro de básquetbol, con un invitado de lujo, el señor John Flowers. How you doing, John? I think you're muted.
Oh, that's good, man. Yeah, man, we were really happy with the victory yesterday. Welcome, first of all, to Peñarol. I know this was your second already game against Nacional, right? This wasn't the first one?
That's the second, yeah.
I want to kind of take it back a little bit when we get started and kind of talk about your upbringing a little bit, because you kind of have an interesting background. Your mom was in the Women's Hall of Fame in basketball, right?
Yeah, man. I kind of grew up in a basketball family, man. My mom, you know, she was an All-American, three-time All-American basketball player, won a national championship. She's in the Basketball Hall of Fame for Louisiana Tech. She went to Louisiana Tech. She was kind of like a big deal. She's the star of the family, basically, you know. So,
yeah. How about your old man?
He was just tall.
He was just tall.
Really he was just tall.
Yeah, he was just tall. He's a hustler, though. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Maryland, right, kind of outside the DC area, right?
Yep. In Maryland, DMV. We call it the DMV area.
Okay. And from there, you went to West Virginia, made it to the Final Four in 2010, right?
Yep.
Kind of legendary in the legendary status at West Virginia now because of that.
Yeah, man, I like it there, man. I love it there. Actually, it's home. It's a home away from home. So
yeah,
they show a lot of love. It's kind of like Uruguay now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the interesting thing with you, when I looked you up, I thought, man, this was probably a huge culture shock going to Uruguay from the States. But then I kind of looked into where you were before, right out of the gate,
everywhere.
You started hot, like in Japan. That was the biggest culture shock I think you can get, right?
Yeah, I mean, right out the gate, man. Just never traveled overseas before, basically. I mean, I've been to like the Bahamas, but
yeah,
never traveled like overseas, like on my own before. Like that was the biggest culture shock ever. You know what I mean? Just everything was the total opposite. Like the time difference, they drive on the opposite side of the road. They don't speak the language, so
yeah,
it was fitting. You know, just throw me right in the fire.
Yeah, no kidding. And then from there, you go all over Europe, right? Like you were a few years around in European leagues, right? In France.
Yeah, I mean, I basically stuck around in France. I played in France for 5 years, Germany for 1 year, played in Venezuela, Mexico
too, right?
Yeah. Argentina, and now Uruguay.
Okay. So how is el español?
Mi español is malo, man. It's muy malo.
Yesterday, I was listening to your buddy, Lee Roberts, and his español is muy bueno. He has it down packed. Yeah. He's got it.
But he learned Spanish in Argentina. You know, I played in 4 different countries in South America, so. As you guys probably know, Spanish in Mexico is nowhere. It's nothing like
totally
that.
Different.
Yeah, in Argentina. So I think that's the biggest thing. But just understanding Spanish. I don't understand like what people are saying. It's crazy because my coach recently has just started speaking to me in Spanish. Like I don't know what it is, but he just
Pablo Lopez.
Yeah, Pablo, my guy, man. But he just refuses to speak to me in English now. It's kind of weird.
So how many Americans on the team? Is you, Lee? Anybody else?
Me, Lee, and Orlando. He's Mexican.
Orlando's Mexican. That's true.
He's American Mexican.
Oh, okay. Mexican American.
Yeah, but he's full, like he speaks Spanish fluently. So
Okay.
I guess that's why coach just feels comfortable just speaking total Spanish now.
When you got to Peñarol, was Lee already part of the team?
Yeah, I think I came a little bit later than Lee did.
How important is it to have a guy like that in the team to kind of, because it was your first time in Uruguay, but he had been in Uruguay already.
Yeah.
Has it helped you adapt and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he showed me the ropes. I mean, for me, like, it didn't take long to get adapted just because I've been playing overseas for so long. But
right,
like to have him on the team, man, it's kind of like a cheat code. You know what I mean? Like he speaks Spanish. He's played in this league for a long time, so he knows what's going on. So he was able to tell me like the little things that I need to know about what's going on.
That's right. Are you by yourself? Do you have a significant other there with you?
I'm married. My wife is supposed to come here, but she's pregnant. So,
okay. Where's she at? States?
Yeah, she's in the States. So our second child is due pretty soon here. So it's going to be interesting seeing what's going to happen in the playoffs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen during the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Congrats, man.
From our end. And I know it's hard to be apart from, your significant other, especially, at a moment like this. So what makes you come to Uruguay? I mean, who
contacts you? Your agent tells you about it, or?
Yeah, my agent basically but I've been talking to teams here for a while now, you know what I mean? But I think this time, like at this point in my career, I just think that this was just the best place to be. Like I could have went back to Europe. I could have went to Japan, not Japan, but a couple other places. But I think just at this point in my career, I think this is just what's best for me.
So are you adapting well?
In Uruguay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it here, man. Like I love it. I mean, at first it wasn't tough. It was just like I just wasn't into anything. You know what I mean? Like, like I kind of felt like I was falling out of love with the game. You know what I mean? It's just kind of stagnant. And then
gotcha.
What really got me back into it was the fans, man. Like,
yeah,
I know exactly.
We're pretty wild.
Yeah, it was. We played against the Maccabi team here.
Yeah,
and our fans showed up, man, and they're wild, man. They basically like hit a spark in them, like it was like a click. Like I can't even really explain it. And then after that, I went to a Peñarol soccer game, and
you went to the stadium.
You went to the rivalry game.
Yeah, and I was down there with the fans, man. They just show so much love here, man. It's amazing, like honestly.
We are a team that you can have a good game, a bad game, an outstanding game, or a terrible game. As long as you give it your all, we'll love you. Soccer, basketball, all our athletes. That's all we require. Give it your all. And hey, you gave us the last Clásico win, on your last shot, right?
Yeah. I mean, our friends are kind of rushed sometimes with some players, we lost a couple games. I've read some stuff because I like talking to fans, like the stuff that they write, it doesn't really bother me. I'm kind of like a troll, you know what I mean? But
okay.
I talk back to fans and stuff, but they kind of rush sometimes when you have a bad game, but that comes with the territory, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
So how are you finding the team and the league in general? I mean, you've been pretty much all over the world. You play college basketball here at at the top level. So how do you find the Uruguayan league? I mean, I know we're, behind in a lot of things, but how are you adapting to it?
I think the basketball was probably the toughest thing to adapt to. Yeah, I mean, just because like the league is kind of behind on like the structures of like the courts. Like some rims are low, some rims are high, some courts are most courts are smaller, like high school courts in the States. There's a lot of dead spots in the court and stuff like that. So that was probably the biggest thing to get used to the referees, which you got to get used to the referees everywhere, but it's a little bit harder to get used to here.
I was going to ask you about that. How do you find because referees, soccer, basketball, we're having a lot of issues with them, but do they call more fouls in Uruguay than in other places, or is it vice versa? How do you find that?
First, let me say, like, I know the refs, they have a very hard job, man, like doing what they do. I couldn't imagine being a referee, so I think that they're doing the best that they can, you know what I mean? They're giving it their all. So, like, before each game, I tell them, man, have a good game. I don't think they're trying to make bad calls and do all this stuff, you know what I mean? So I think they're doing the best that they can. But the thing that gets me with referees everywhere is just when they don't call the game evenly. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they'll let a lot of things go, and then when I barely touch a guy, they'll call a foul. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing that gets to me. Like the other game we played the other day against Malvine, I think they shot like 30 free throws and we only shot 10. Like, that's not even possible.
So you guys were being called left and right for foul.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a bad look, like, for the league. You know what I mean? If you want to have a future with the league, but I like I said, man, I think the referees are trying to do the best that they can. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of pressure on them. So I'll never try to, like, argue with the referee, or I always try to talk to him. That's another thing. Like, I just try to communicate with the ref and ask them, like, where did I get a foul from, so I can understand, like, what they're calling, how they're going to officiate the game. But sometimes they won't even talk to you, so it's kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of them have a crappy attitude, that's for sure. Sometimes,
but I understand though. Like, I get it. Like, they deal with a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, they have to put up with a lot of shit. That's right. How about what can you tell us about Pablo Lopez, your coach? You had a lot of coaches everywhere. What can you take from Pablo? What has Pablo shown you, or what is he big on? I know he's big on defense. So,
that's funny you say he's big on defense. I mean, I think he's more of an offensive guru to me. Like, he sees, like, different things of the game. Like, he's kind of like a mad scientist when it comes to the game of basketball. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably drawing up something with basketball right now. But I mean, he's a good coach, man. Kind of like a player's coach,
That's cool.
So he kind of, like, lets us play, and kind of just, he understands the game very well, I think.
I mean, he seems like a very obsessive guy, very passionate in what he does, and so that is going to get translated to you guys too. I mean, that work ethic. Yeah. I mean, he, when Lee was talking last night, he was talking about, the strengths of the team is the defense right now, at least is from what, everybody's saying, that we've got the best defense in the league. How do you see it? Do you see it that we're a lot, that our defense is so good that maybe it overshadows how good our offense could be?
Wait, what?
Yeah, like, because there's a lot of talk about our defense, right, and how good it is. But you're saying that Pablo's a much more offensive minded coach.
Yeah.
So
he's so our team. I keep trying to tell Pablo we should run transition basketball more, just fast paced game. You know what I mean? And he likes to draw up stuff, and he plays chess. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, he's really good at that. Like, he's really good at playing chess. Like, the game against Nacional, the first game, he drew up a play where the three I hit at the end of the game, he drew that up. So he plays chess. He likes to slow it down a little bit, but I think that we have a fast paced team. I think we should run a lot more.
You think so?
Does he listen to you when you give him advice or suggestions?
Does he listen? I mean, he hears me.
Listening is another story.
Yeah, I don't know if he listens. He hears. I mean, some things he does listen to me about, and that's why I like him as a coach. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
some things he's like, okay, John, like, you've been playing for 11 years. You understand this. I'll let you take it. You can. Yeah, like we've done that before.
That
like
creative freedom.
Yeah. He like one time he told me how to defend a player, and I said, I think I should defend him this way. He said, hey, go ahead.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool coach, man.
Oh, well, we're glad to hear that. Because again, you're coming to a different country, different ways and everything, and if you find a coach that allows you to be yourself, I think that's a plus on your side. Rare. How is the team? How do you guys feel as Americans? Within the rest of the Uruguayans that play with you, it's like everybody in the same boat.
The other teammates. I mean, how's that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, I think our chemistry is pretty good, man. Tito is our team captain. I think he does a great job. Yeah, I think he does a great job of like keeping everybody together and being on the same page, man. I'm cool with everybody on my team, man. So I'm cooler with the younger players, like the young guys that don't really play a lot. But I mean, everybody on the cool is real. Everybody on the team is real cool.
Well, that's what makes a team, and what keeps it, gives us hope that come the playoffs, you guys are going to do very well.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that's the one thing I don't understand about overseas teams. Like they change up like their players every year, like instead of just focusing on and focusing on the same team. Like whether they do good or bad, they'll grow as a team. Like if I was a GM, I would probably try to focus on the same players instead of changing out players every year.
Very few Americans have gone down to Uruguay and stay there. We have, Granger. You probably heard that last name. Great player. His son was born in Uruguay. He, usually plays used to play for the Uruguayan national team. But I don't know. From my perspective, it's probably a financial thing where basketball does not produce what it produces stateside. Never mind,
I mean, even the Americans, like most teams have changed their Americans since we first got here. Like we went to, this is our 5th guy at the 2 position. You know what I mean? Like, and every other team has changed their Americans. Like, I'm pretty sure. So that's a real adjustment that you got to get used to in Uruguay. Like the team that you played in September might not be the same team that you played in.
That's true.
December.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. That's true.
The turnover of foreign players, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge, and that does not. I mean, it detriments the team itself because you got to start again all over. New guys, so it's not easy. So, what can you tell us about the playoffs, man? Are you guys confident? How long are you guys going to rest for? I mean, a week? How long is it before you guys start playing again?
We got practice tomorrow.
Okay, but when will it be your first game for the playoffs?
I was told the 20th.
Okay.
So that's another thing you gotta get used to with the Uruguayan league. Like they don't have sometimes the schedule isn't set. They change games and you got long breaks in between games.
That's almost 3 weeks. That's almost 3 weeks.
And that messes up your tempo. Like if you guys are in the zone right now, how are you guys going to combat that? Have you guys talked about that as a team? Just on practices? I mean, that's really all you can do.
I'm sure they'll schedule some friendly games, which I personally hate, but it kind of messes up the rhythm a little bit. So I'm sure they'll do something. We'll see.
Yeah, leading the interview was saying yesterday, he said, we're an older team. The rest is going to do us good. But we were talking, Leandro and I, before, you came in, that, sometimes, again, it messes up. I mean, you're in the zone and you got to wait 3 weeks until your next official game, and they can throw everything out of whack.
That's one thing Coach Pablo loves is practice. So.
You're going to get plenty of that, right?
Yeah, we'll be all right.
So are you drinking mate yet or not?
I tried it in Argentina. I didn't really like it, so I didn't drink it.
It's Leandro. Go ahead, explain the difference.
It's a superior here in Uruguay. Let me tell you, it's a lot better in Uruguay.
When his girlfriend sees this,
yeah, my girlfriend's gonna she's from Argentina, but no, I'm a little biased when it comes to it, obviously. But no, you should try it. For you,
that's what every country says. Like, it's better
exactly.
Here.
You know,
they said that with the asado. Who's asado is better, Argentina or?
Well, if you're gonna ask, you're Hawaiian. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna be biased. Well, have you tried it over there?
The asado?
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys use the wood here, and they use the coal over there.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you pick something up.
Yeah, I've been learning a little bit, man.
So, is the club treating you well, John?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, whatever was promised to you when you came. I mean, are we delivering?
Have your expectations been higher, lower? I mean,
me personally, I don't really. I think I don't ask for a lot, but basically, if I need anything, I just take care of it myself. So I really don't rely on them for a lot of stuff, but they haven't been like spoiling me.
No, I hear you, but I mean, whatever was promised to you, I don't know, housing, whatever. I mean, is everything?
Yeah, I mean, how does that even work for you guys? Because we really don't know. I mean,
it was a situation with like my apartment. I was supposed to get an apartment for my wife and my daughter to be here, but it was just a situation like they just didn't end up coming, basically. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the team is great. They've been professional. I mean, we had our issues, but everything's been worked out. Like for the
okay,
cool.
Yeah.
As long as things are worked out, I mean, you don't have to give any details or anything. But yeah, it can be a little cumbersome, especially coming into a new league, right? And then you're not knowing what to expect. You don't want.
And Uruguay is a small country. I mean, compared to the places you've been playing. I mean, our league, it's probably the smallest one by far. And there's no shame.
I mean, I didn't really expect a lot, you know what I mean? Like that I wouldn't expect what I got in France from Uruguay. But I mean, you're a professional team, like some things are expected, but I always had in the back of my mind, if I have to take care of something, I'm gonna take care of it. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's the attitude.
And they really were lenient too with me, like going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas when we had like long extended. Anytime we have like extended breaks, I'm able to go home and see my wife and my daughter. So I appreciate that for sure.
That's cool
for them being understanding.
Are you still in Maryland or somewhere else?
I'm in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Oh, okay, so you guys
by the school.
Okay.
All right. Well, Leandro, anything else for a friend here?
Yeah, no, I mean, man, it's, what you said about the fan base and stuff, you're going to get a lot of love here if you do, and you give it your all, and you've been giving it your all just like everybody else. So I know I've seen a lot of your videos of you kind of singing with the fans. So they love that. They love that.
Honestly, yeah, I only got a few songs down. I don't have all the songs, but I mean, like wherever I go, I just try to embrace the culture, man. Like
that's
South America is what, like, I love South American culture. I mean, Uruguay culture. I mean, it's between Uruguay and Mexico for me. As far as like the culture, man, I love Uruguay's culture, though. I mean, like,
what do you like the most about it, though? The soccer fan, the fanaticism, is that what gets you?
Yeah, man, just that, and I don't know. It's just something about like the music and the drums. Like I don't.
Okay. The drums.
All right.
It's like a connection. Like when I went to the soccer game, like I was up in like the suite with like the rest of the team and president, and I just heard the music. I was like, man, I gotta go down there. Man.
Like, okay. So you originally went to the suite, the box. And then you guys decided to go down there where all the people were at.
Yeah, no one would go with me, but I went down there by myself.
That's pretty cool, crazy. Man. That's pretty cool.
It was cool, man. It's just something, man. Like it's something in my blood. Like I can't even like explain it, man. Like,
well, you mentioned the drums, and although we have a small African descent population, we really cherish that heritage. And if you've been to Carnaval, and the drums playing and all that, I imagine that that is very attractive for you guys. Because I don't know if they do that in Mexico or in the other leagues that you've been. I mean, in the other countries you've been.
Nah, this is like, they have like in Mexico, it was kind of like that, but they don't like our fans here at Peñarol. They sing the whole game, like the entire game. Like I never seen that before ever anywhere. I've been playing for 11 years, never seen that before. So I would have to say these are the wildest. They said they're singing like soccer songs though, but.
Yeah,
all the same.
Yeah, they'll sing the same thing in the soccer stadiums for sure, but they all kind of mean the same thing, and I think it applies to all the sports because it's really just showing how much they love the team.
When we see these colors, that's it.
They're gonna cheer you on all the time, and they will be harsh. You're right, because we have, I guess, a very high expectation because of we're such a popular team. But yo, man, thank you for being here. Number one. Number two, congratulations on the win yesterday. Everybody enjoyed it. Everybody.
Yeah, that's the game we cannot lose.
We can't lose those ever. And yeah, man, I thank you a lot and good luck in the playoffs, bro. We'll be cheering for you guys. Obviously.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you, John, and the best to your wife and your kid and the one that's coming. I love you, dude.
Appreciate it.
Vamos Peñarol, carajo,